Welcome back, humor consumers, to the Life Happens Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm comedian Tracy DeGraff.
And I'm Cathrine.
My bestie.
I'm here. Yes.
She's
my
back.
bestie.
She's refreshed.
Yeah, I'm refreshed. I was gone for a week.
She went to Florida.
Yeah.
What do you
Beautiful
got there?
Florida.
Did you get that shirt in Florida?
I did. Yeah.
It says Captiva Island.
Yeah, very pretty.
Yeah, and it's turquoise blue,
Mm.
which is a happy color for spring. We're ready for spring here in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's very gray.
It is.
It was
It
gray
is.
when you were gone.
Is it?
Oh, very gray.
Oh, that's right.
I sent you a couple
Yes.
pictures to make you feel good.
Oh.
Because I know how much you hate like the gray skies.
I do.
I'm like, look what you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect timing. Well, we're excited to be back because I really felt it. I know that our content comes out if you're a regular listener, and we hope you are. You may have noticed that we drop an episode every Wednesday at noon.
You're so cool by saying
Drop. I know I dropped it. I dropped the episode.
Ding.
Every Wednesday at noon, and we're really working hard at being professional, right? Even though this is an unpaid gig for the moment, but we're working hard
We are. We're
at being professional and keeping to a schedule. So we're ahead. We have episodes that are waiting to drop. They're in the queue
They're
or
in the
whatever they
queue.
call that.
Yeah.
So, but we didn't record last week, and I missed it.
Yeah.
I did.
I did too.
Yeah, I kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. All right. Well, this is episode number 17. And our topic today is, are we addicted to technology? I think everybody
Yes.
knows the answer. Yeah, that's a rhetorical question because everybody knows the answer.
Yeah.
Well, and the 3 takeaways that we're hopeful, this is our goal, friends, is to give you 3 nuggets of something. And number 1, we're going to go over the pros and cons of technology. That's the first takeaway. Number 2, Cathrine looked up some staggering facts about technology usage. So be prepared to be staggered. And finally, how to have a healthy technology relationship, how to have balance and boundaries.
Healthy boundaries.
Yeah. And of course, at the end, we're going to share, stay tuned all the way to the end, because that's when we share a little bit of spiritual encouragement. So you don't want to miss out on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And today's episode is sponsored by...
Muffin and Pooh.
Oh, yes. Our guys, our men.
Yeah. Ron and Kenny.
Thank you to them. They're both at work so that we
Yeah,
have
thank
a
God.
roof over our heads
Yes.
and food. We laugh, but it's not a joke. It's a real thing. All right. Well, let's jump right into segment 1, and that is the pros and cons of technology. So what did you find, Cathrine?
Well, I found that, first of all, we all know information is a pro, right?
Yeah.
It's endless.
Yeah.
The information, connectivity is just like that. It's fast. It's
Yeah.
portable. It's portable.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what can be better than that, than to have an entire encyclopedia right in your hand?
Yeah. I remember when I was in high school, I had a history teacher who used to say all the time, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. And he said it like so seriously. Mr. Dobrich.
Oh,
Yeah.
shout out to
Shout
Mr.
out to Mr. Dobrich.
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 Okay.
Dobrich.
All right.
He was like scary. Not
I
anymore.
can tell by your face.
Not
Like,
anymore,
You're
but
trying to get in that mode of like seriousness.
yeah, my PTSD is kicking in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, you know, there's Bible devices that people around the world can get God's word, and in all different languages.
This is
So,
true.
A little portable thing you can hold in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Medical aids. Gosh, that's endless. I mean, there's like, I was just talking with you earlier about device that I remember a family friend using where she had ALS and she could not, she couldn't speak and communicate. But with this device, somehow, I don't remember how it worked, but she was able to transfer what was in her brain that came out through this little device.
That's
And
amazing.
It wasn't by typing necessarily. Anyway, genealogy technology. Then DNA and the computer usage of that is just amazing. Now, I know we're not all using that, you know.
Like,
and
what does it mean, genealogy technology?
So, because of the information that's out there and because of this ancestry.com thing, you can really do, if you're into looking for your own genealogy, family history, it's at your fingertips. It used to be so hard to do that. But now with technology, it's a lot easier. Yeah. Plus in crimes and things like that, but we're not all into that. But
well,
anyway,
thankfully, they're not looking at my genes on whether or not I committed a crime. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
Banking.
That's a pro.
That's a pro.
Yeah. A lot of people use the apps and such for banking online.
It's a lot easier. Transferring money and things like that.
Paying your bills.
Well, yeah. Paying the bills. And it can be a peace of mind for parents who have children who are just learning how to drive, or their whereabouts. Then there's a lot of technology. Actually, our family uses it, and this could be a con as well. But we use this thing called Life 360, where we can tell where our kids are, where each other are, where we're located, and even the speed that one another. Yeah, we could tell, like, if Kenny's coming home from work.
He's going too fast, it can tell you?
Oh, yeah, it'll tell us the speed in which they're driving.
I wonder.
The route.
I wonder if they have one that will send you an alert if your child is going over the posted speed limit.
I'm sure there is. I know there's an alert if they crash.
Oh, well, that's a little late, but
well,
I'd like the information about the speed ahead of the crash.
Yeah,
interesting.
Probably is.
I bet there is too.
I only know the basics. This particular one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
So I'm sure there are more
of those types of technology.
Pros. I almost said a word I don't want to say.
Oh boy.
But anyway, those are some of the pros.
And what were your cons?
Okay, cons. Data security.
Have you you've had yours breached? I've had mine breached. In fact, I'm dealing with it right now, trying to.
You are?
I'm still.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm still not able to get that back. $270.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Facebook took it.
Yeah,
for nothing. Or someone...
If only the listeners could see Tracy's face right now. She looks like, I want revenge.
I look like that red-faced emoji, right? Anyway, pray for me that I get my $270 back from.
We will.
The interwebs. I don't know how it's going to happen.
All right. Social isolation.
Now, wait. That's a con? Social isolation? You mean because of technology, like teenagers aren't coming out of their rooms and...
It's not only teenagers. It's people of all ages that, they're... But I do think that I've read quite a bit, not in this particular endeavor, research, but that young people are growing up with more and more, dependence on this kind of
it's weird. It's weird because it feels like it's a pro and a con, because it can connect them to people who are not in their vicinity. For example, my children live all over the place, but they can play games together on whatever the game thing is that they're on.
Right. I know exactly
so
what
that
you mean.
Would make me consider that, that's a pro. They're staying connected, but I can definitely see the con side of it. Like, they never leave their room. Yeah. Thank goodness we don't have a toilet in there, because they come out eventually.
Yeah. Well, and they say, too, that they're socially awkward when they're having face-to-face relationships or even a phone call, and even like with dating, all kinds of things.
Wow.
So, too much work overload because you never turn off, or it's hard to turn off, because you're at home, you've got everything there with you. People are contacting you, whatever it is. Diminishing job opportunity. Now, of course, we know that you can also... It can be a pro because you can have access to opportunities that are out there, but it also diminishes job opportunities at the same time.
I can see that at the grocery store, because 10, 20 years ago, you had to wait in line and there was a human being who scanned your stuff. Or even before scanners, they punched it in manually from a little price tag that was on the item. And now you can you just do it yourself.
You do their job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It annoys me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, and for more like information on that, you could go to honestproscons.com and then punch in pros and cons, and it'll kind of expound on what they mean by diminishing job opportunity, because it's explain more on that.
Yeah, we're going to put that in the show notes.
Yeah. Also, digital technology creates addiction.
Digital technology creates addiction to digital technology?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Digital, all kinds of digital addictions, gaming, porn. Yeah. Yeah. There is a dark side.
In my research, I found one video on YouTube. I'll try to find it again and put the link in the show notes if I can find it again, because I don't recall that I saved the link. But he was talking about a little hit that hits your brain, a little hit of dopamine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Every time you get a text or an alert, and you get this little hit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I read something about that as well. And it gets harder and harder than from what I understood in this article, to get excited about other things or whatever.
Well, because you think about growing up, we never had cell phones. We didn't have text messaging.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have those little dopamine things. We had MTV. That was it.
Yeah. Wow.
Sit yourself in front of MTV for 4 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some other cons, manipulation of media. Things can be altered quite a bit.
Yeah, fake news.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Plagiarism and copyright. It's another con.
Well, technology has really changed the way people consume content. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look what happened to the music industry when, what was that thing called, Napster or something? It was a way to download music for free.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really bad for artists who were out there trying to hustle it and make some kind of a living.
Yeah.
And then everybody's getting their stuff for free.
Yeah, right.
Sadness.
Yeah. Harder and harder to sell albums and things and whatever.
Yeah. So changed the whole industry.
Yep.
All right. What else?
That's it. That's all I have. Well, that's all I wrote down.
That's all you wrote down?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let me see what I put for my pros and cons, and I'll link the resource as well to the show notes. Saves time. That's a pro.
Yeah, it is a pro.
100% technology saves time. It is better communication.
In what way do you mean?
Well, better in terms of it's faster. It's cheaper. You can do it in a group.
Mm-hmm.
Like in years past, you couldn't group text anybody. You couldn't group phone call anybody.
Right.
You had to do it one at a time.
Yeah.
And prior to the telephone, you had to, what did you do? Send a pigeon? Or you got on your horse and you rode. Can you imagine? I mean, There was a time when people did not have even the antiquated technology that has been replaced 3 or 4 or 5 times now. Mm-hmm. There was a time on this planet when people did not have access to that type of communication.
Mm-hmm.
So it is better. This was listed as a pro, that it's easy to spend our free time. Like, we can entertain ourselves with our phones.
Yeah.
Like if you're waiting in the dentist.
Yeah.
I used to bring a deck of cards when.
Did you really?
Well, I used to make all the appointments for the kids on one day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have 5 kids.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time remembering things, appointments and such. So I would figure, rather than trying to make 10 dental appointments for 5 kids to a year, I'm going to skip all that and I'm just going to make 2. I'm going to plant myself at the dental office for 2 days out of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I would bring cards to play with the kids that were waiting.
Good idea.
Well, now they have the digital stuff.
They do. I was just thinking about how I remember the Highlights magazines.
Oh, yeah.
I used to bring those along, or hope that they had them in whatever medical office I was going into.
Yeah, and see, now they don't need that.
I guess not.
Because every kid when they come out of the womb, they bring their cell phone with them.
Yeah, right.
All right. I wrote this one down myself, that technology saves space. We already referred to the encyclopedia.
Mm-hmm.
When you compare Google and how much space that takes
Mm-hmm.
to a set of Britannica
Yeah.
encyclopedia.
History books.
We used to have a whole room in our house that had shelves and shelves of all the resource material.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Better learning. Students, technology for learning.
Okay.
And better ongoing education. You know, my husband and I joke about YouTube. He fixes the cars with YouTube.
Yeah, Kenny has fixed many things. Appliances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube tutorial. I swear. You could give yourself your own brain surgery. There's a YouTube tutorial for it.
Maybe your own haircut.
Okay.
Might be a little bit more
Not a lobotomy.
plausible.
All right. I think that technology has helped businesses to be more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And this was according to this article that I'm going to put in the show notes here. But, you know, it's easier to keep your books. It's easier to keep track of your customers,
Mm-hmm.
keep track of what they've purchased, what they might purchase again, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This feels to me like a repeat because they said better communication and then communicate more efficiently. I think that's a repeat, but communication is more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And then the seventh one they put was job opportunities within tech sector.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the con side of it, they said there's a reduction of jobs, which we already went over on your cons in terms of, like, we talked about the grocery store clerk and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It creates dependencies on technology.
Yeah, for sure.
So then if the power's out or the internet is down, you're dependent on it. Now you can't.
I'm totally dependent on, like, I don't have my kids' phone numbers memorized.
I don't either.
So if my phone dies,
I don't even have them
Well,
written down
actually,
anywhere. Do you?
I don't think I do. I don't think I do.
I think
actually.
maybe we should do that.
Yeah. Now that we're saying
Put them in
it
a
out
safe
loud.
place, like the safety deposit box. I don't know.
Or, I have a password book. I should probably
Put 'em in
it
there. Yeah, I'm going to do that too. Because if we don't write our kids' phone numbers down and we have to wait for them to call us, we'll never talk to them again.
Yeah, right.
It's over. All right. The third one was reduces human effort.
Okay. Explain that.
Well, I think what they're referring to is like something that once took a lot more effort
Mm-hmm.
has been reduced.
Oh, okay. So
Reduces
much easier.
Human effort.
Okay. Oh, here she goes again.
Catherine calls me Captain Obvious
Obvious.
all the time.
Oh my gosh.
I'm simple in the mind, Cat. I can't really, I can't make it any more difficult because it doesn't happen. I'm very simple.
Okay.
So I'm not familiar that much with agricultural practices, but we know family and friends who are farmers.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that they could give testimony to that in terms of technology making human effort easier.
Yeah.
In terms of even like what your cousin Joe does. He sells seeds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that technology, I know I've seen him on his laptop working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that there's some stuff in there that shares with him when certain seeds are supposed to be this and that,
Yeah.
and how many seeds you need, and
Who's
all the
missing
math.
some? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think technology can be applied to all of those different things just to make our effort less.
Yeah.
Health, we talked about that already
Mm-hmm.
as a problem in terms of like if you become addicted to it.
Yeah. Right.
And then another one that they had in this article was social divide. And I interpreted that as like cyberbullying.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad, especially for our young females. Bullying is horrible at every level.
That's right.
And
Always has been.
It has. And it doesn't just end like in middle school, high school. It goes on. You know, and oftentimes women can be the worst when it comes to the words, and it's just like the sharp tongue, and
Yeah, it's true.
it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I'll sometimes be scrolling through Facebook and I'll come across comments on, let's say, a particular issue in a group, a Facebook group. Those comments can go south so fast.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've got people that are going back and forth to each other, and I don't even know if they know each other, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's that sense of, I don't know if people feel more empowered. They're behind a little computer or a little device, and so therefore they might say things that maybe they wouldn't face to face. Maybe they would. I don't know.
I think there's definitely a sense of anonymity. It's a hard word for me to say. You're anonymous.
Right.
There's a sense of that for sure. And there's not another human being across from you that's either going to slap you in the face, right?
Right.
Or
I mean,
whatever.
they might do it there on Facebook or whatever platform, but it isn't the same as face to face.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good, like I'm seeing a red flag, like it's a good warning for all of us. Don't get involved in those kinds of conversations.
Yeah.
Don't comment. Just keep going. Let other people, whatever, have their way. All right. Well, those are some good pros and cons.
Yeah. I'm sure there are more, but those are basics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, let's move on to our next little section here. You were going to share some staggering facts. So lay it on us, Kat.
So, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let me brace myself. Go ahead.
Facebook. How many hits do you think they get per day?
As a whole?
As a whole, that includes their Instagram, Messenger.
Is it a number?
So,
like, is it a term I've
just-
never heard? Maybe.
No.
Is it over
No.
a trillion?
Okay.
A trillion.
Per day? No.
What is it?
So per day, 1.84 billion per day.
Wow.
That's 2.80 billion per month. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's how often someone is using them, just accessing Facebook.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So users spend an average of 19.5 hours a month. That's a lot.
Okay, I'll bet you it's a lot higher during the pandemic.
Yeah, so I wanted to use the most current. In fact, I'm gonna look for it on.
You know
where
how
I
your
pulled it.
phone will tell you how long you've been using your phone?
Yeah. You could set it up that way. You can do that with Facebook too.
Yeah.
You can, which I was going to talk about later. I wasn't ready to talk about it yet, but there is some kind of app or something that Facebook launched in 2018, I think it was, where you can monitor your time on Facebook. And let's see now. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is current. This was just updated 2021.
Okay.
So, because I always try to find the most current.
Yeah.
And
okay.
So
on your settings, if you look at screen time, you can see how much time. I had a daily average of 5 hours and 17 minutes.
Okay. On
But
what? Just on your phone?
I think it's everything.
Oh.
Yeah. And I've been listening to YouTube stuff, on whatever we were talking about earlier, all that stuff. But during the pandemic, when this thing would tell me, like, I eventually shut it off because I don't want to know. It was over 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm down to 5 now. That's
Very
good.
good.
I have a life.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I got this from, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but Oberlo. It seemed to be, and it's really cool because it's really targeted, or this platform is used for marketing information.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was quite interesting. Okay. Another, I thought, staggering fact was most children own a mobile phone by the age of 7. By the age of 7.
7. They're in like first grade. They're like losing their teeth.
Yeah.
7 and 8 years old. That's when your teeth start to come out.
I was just thinking when you said that, like, wow, and we use it till we're at the age of losing teeth again. Like, wow. Never stops.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
I got that from the Guardian.com about the children, that stat. Okay. Google processes over 3.5 billion searches per day.
Wow.
I know. 63% of search traffic originated from mobile devices.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that makes total sense. Because your mobile device is with you 100% of the time.
Mm.
So if you need to know something, like all the YouTubing that my husband does is out in the garage under the hood of the car.
Yeah. Well, I think about how often that we're not at home.
Yeah.
And even when we are at home. I mean, there's so many times where I'll just be on the couch and we're watching TV and all of a sudden, something will pique my curiosity.
Right.
And boom. Oh, when did she die? Is he still alive? And I'm Googling it.
I know.
It's like crazy.
My Google searches looks like I'm crazy.
Yours. I always tease Tracy about her Google searches. And I call her last name's DeGraff, in case you don't know. I call her D-Google.
Yes, she does. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about me.
Okay. So I was surprised to hear this. The most searchable keyword that Google has is Facebook.
That's weird.
Facebook was the most searched keyword on Google.
I don't understand that.
I don't either, because don't you just go to Facebook? But maybe people don't have the app or something.
Who knows? That seems dumb. You sure you got that right?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I am absolutely positive.
All right. Yeah. It was on the internet. You can't be trusted.
Good point, Tracy. I don't normally trust everything on the internet, actually. But this was from that Oberlo.
All right.
I don't know. Anyway, okay. Amazon had over 2.44 billion desktop and mobile visits in September of 2020, which was up from 2.01 billion in February of 2020. And that was during the pandemic.
Amazon, I mean, that right there, just that technology alone, however they figured out how to do what they do in terms of distribution, it's kind of a miraculous thing. And now, true story, the other day, someone in our house used the bathroom and it left an unpleasant situation.
I know what you're gonna say.
And I said to my husband, I said, we don't have any matches in there.
Yeah.
And that didn't mean that we didn't have any matches anywhere, because we have hundreds of books of matches, but we didn't have them in that bathroom. And 2 seconds later, he had 400 matches coming to our house.
Yeah.
He ordered it. It gave it he was just like, boom, on the spot. We need matches. I'm going to get the matches.
Yeah.
They're on their way. They're probably here now.
Do you ever get excited when you see the Amazon truck come down and you pull up in front of your house?
Yeah, but then I get equally horrified because I go, what are we getting? I can't remember what I ordered yesterday.
Yeah.
There's too much.
It's like seeing the Amazon truck is so much better than even the ice cream truck, which you never see anymore.
Oh, wouldn't it be interesting if the Amazon truck and the ice cream truck, if they merged
and had a baby? What would it be?
You could get your package and ice cream and have fun twinkly music. I would love that. That's a business idea.
Some weird person handing it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it. Those were my staggering facts. And I wanted to address another thing. I didn't put it down because I was afraid to look it up. But I know I did look it up. But also there's a dark side too of what gets a lot of hits. And that's staggering too. And it's unfortunate.
Is it pornography?
It is. Yeah.
Like you're skirting around it like it doesn't have a name. Of like, I think we know what it is.
I know. Yeah. Well, and you know me. I'm like, I don't want that in my search thing. I don't want that on my computer. But unfortunately, that too.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
I didn't bother to write down what it was. I should have, though.
Well, something for us to all pray for, pray against, all that. All right. Well, I thought it would be interesting for us to share with our listeners our top 3 favorite technology things. Why'd you do that?
She's looking at me because I don't have a third one.
Oh, well, what are your top 2 then, Catherine?
My first one is texts.
Yeah, texting.
I mean, that's my number one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. It's so easy,
I like that you can combine now. I have a newer car now. Like this is the newest kind of car that I've had. Mm-hmm. Right. So we joked about this in another episode because I've always, over the last several years, we've had cars that were, let's call them faith builders.
Yeah.
Ron with his YouTube under the car trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we purchased a newer used car, and this car can connect to my phone.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing.
So cool.
I know.
Mine does that too.
I can answer the phone with my car.
Yeah, me too. I just press the steering wheel button.
Yeah, little picture of the phone.
Hello, goodbye.
You know what's funny about that? Now that I think of it, the technology is so far and above an old rotary phone. Remember the old kind that would hang on the wall? Mm-hmm. But the little icon, the little picture on the...
Yeah.
It's an old
vintage
rotary phone.
Right.
They don't make those anymore.
Right.
Anyway. All right. So texting is your number one.
It is.
That you love. Okay.
I would say that and it's most frequent.
Okay. And what's your second one?
Google.
Oh, see, you're onto the Google too.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess maybe Facebook would be third. It's not email. It's not Amazon. So I guess I'd have to say maybe Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my number one was my cell phone, all in general.
Oh, you mean, okay.
I just put my cell phone because it
covers
a lot.
Like every, yeah.
And then number 2, I put YouTube because I do use YouTube for a lot of, like, I listen to sermons on YouTube and research for the podcast. I listen to stuff. Mm-hmm. Podcasts is another one.
Oh, of course.
Right. We should be promoting our platform.
We should be.
But we're new to podcasting as podcasters, but we're also newer to listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a great way to, I listen to podcasts when I'm farting.
I was like, what did you just say? But yes,
FARD.
D like David.
ING. Right. D like David. Meaning when I'm getting ready. Mm-hmm. When I'm doing my hair and makeup in the bathroom, I've got the podcast on.
Yeah.
Okay. I also like to listen to it when I'm driving somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So those 2 things. All right. Well, that covers our technology that we love. I said YouTube, my cell phone, and what was my third one? Oh, I said Google.
Again,
for sure.
Cell phone covers a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe you didn't say such and such, but
what, like texting?
Well, and Google and Facebook.
Well,
but now that you said your cell phone. So.
Yeah, I do love Pandora as an app on my cell phone. I love to listen to comedy on Pandora. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm so grateful, I know you are too, for the GPS that's on the phone.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Because in the old day, back in the day, when Ron and I were first married,
we would be in a river.
I used to get lost.
Yeah.
And this was when we got a cell phone. Our first cell phone, I think we had already had 2 children. Because when we were first married, we didn't have anything. Mm-hmm. We had just the rotary phone. Mm-hmm. And then we rented a pager when I was due with the 2 first pregnancies to beep him.
You rented it.
We rented beepers, pagers, whatever they're called. Mm-hmm. They were called beepers and pagers. Yep. And it was just like a little alert to tell the person on the other end, the baby's coming. Mm-hmm. That's what it was.
911.
But before GPS, when you could get anywhere from anywhere, I used to get lost. And okay, so this was after we got a cell phone that was attached to the car. You remember those?
Yep.
Not the bag phone. Those were the bigger, clunky phones. These were actually attached to the car. So I would be in my car calling my husband. Mm-hmm. I'm lost. He's like, well, where are you? I don't know.
Right.
What direction are you pointing? I have no idea.
Right.
Well, how am I supposed to help? I don't know. But help me.
Talk to me.
And now I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
All I have to do is say, Siri, go home.
Right.
Directions home.
So
That's
amazing. So amazing. Those are some more pros too to the
Yeah,
technology.
the
I can't
only-
believe we didn't say that.
Okay, but the only thing is, think about our dependency on technology. What if some kind of cyber attack happens to our country and one of our enemies just knocks out all of our communication?
Yeah.
So we don't know where we're going. We can't call the kids. We can't do any banking.
Yeah. So I thought about that. I do like to refer to a map sometimes, though. But it's hard when when you have specific streets, you can't use your atlas for that,
Yeah.
When you're like going through just, city streets, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good to be able to read a map and to know how to look up the towns and the, like AG, bingo.
Oh, like
Or not AG,
using
but A9.
using the key
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. And being able to read the keys, too.
Do you think our kids even know what a map key is? Do you think they've even
They
heard
had
of
to
it?
have learned it in school because school is they're still teaching like they did 300 years ago.
Oh, I
So-
beg to differ with you. My kids don't know where a postage stamp is supposed to go.
Really?
Not really. No, they're not sure which corner to put it in. And it wasn't that long ago that one of my boys, I think it was Caleb, I told him we're going to leave at 10 till.
Oh, I remember you saying this.
He was clueless.
Wow.
Clueless as to what I was saying.
Oh.
We're going to leave at 10 till. What?
Wow.
I go 10 minutes till the next hour, 10 till.
Wow.
And then I thought I should ask for my money back from that school because
Right.
they did not teach my child how to tell time.
They're going to say they went to a public school. You're not getting money back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so horrifying.
Yeah.
So technology, as we've pointed out, we all use it. We're all addicted to it. We've all become dependent on it.
Yeah.
Let's go to our third segment, Catherine, and let's share with our listeners how to have healthy boundaries when it comes to technology.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'm referring to a website. Thank you, Google. Thank you, technology, for a good, healthy way to approach it. So let me find it. Some of these are kind of funny, actually. One is don't use phones behind the wheel. I don't think I saw that one. But,
Well,
let's...
It kind
let's
of
be
goes
wise.
without saying.
Yeah.
Please don't use your phone and
But,
drive.
we say that, but it does say under that, thousands of Americans are killed each year by distracted driving. And it's attributed to phone usage.
Yeah,
So it is a serious thing.
it is. And okay, full disclosure, I've glanced at my phone.
I have to.
So let's...
we're looking at the GPS that way.
True, but if the GPS lady is verbally saying something, I'm more apt to listen to that than to look at the phone. But let's make a commitment to each other, to God, to each other, and to ourselves and our family. Do not look at the phone when you're driving.
Yeah.
Make that commitment. And for our listeners, maybe make that commitment yourselves because it's only going to benefit you and be a good example for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they're watching.
Well, I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
My kids, at least they appear to be, they're the ones that say to me, Mom,
Yeah. And when
Don't do that.
when I'm a passenger in the car, if somebody that's driving is doing anything
aren't you
other than
nervous?
driving,
aren't you nervous? Yeah.
well, yeah, because
Yeah.
I know that I'm a challenged driver. Like I need all my faculties, and even then, I'm a little,
Yeah.
neglected.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I agree.
all right. So what's another boundary?
Defend your sleep. So it says a variety of studies have shown that smartphones use at night can interfere with the quality of your sleep. I went to a sleep study and they did question me on
Yes,
that.
and we talked about this in our sleep. What do you call that? Insomnia episode.
Yeah, we did.
So
Mhm.
listen to that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It says a text or tweet at bedtime can make your mind start spinning at a time it should be winding down. Anyway, there's more information on that too, but yeah, it's so true.
So I guess
But-
the boundary would be don't look at your phone right before you go to sleep. Is that it? So that you don't see any texts or...
Well, I guess so. Although, they say this. I'm gonna confess though. There are times it makes me nice and tired. I'll look at it and kind of read some stuff, read an email, or maybe even sometimes scroll through Facebook, and then I'm just nice and tired, and I'm just done. So I don't feel stimulated. Maybe I am. But you know what it says right here too? Also resist using your phone as an alarm clock. That's my only alarm clock I have. I don't really need one. But when I do, it's my phone. I don't have that ugly alarm clock on my nightstand.
Okay, so obviously different strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because everybody's different. So maybe, like you just pointed out, that sometimes scrolling through your screen of whatever you're scrolling through relaxes you. Okay. Maybe for somebody else who's tense about a relationship or a job or whatever, that might bring them angst.
True.
So I guess the boundary would be figure out where you are on that spectrum, and then think about ways that you can put a boundary in place. If your phone is stressing you out right before you go to bed, charge it up in the kitchen and get yourself an alarm clock, the old-fashioned kind, that plug into the wall. They still make those.
They do.
Yeah, get one of those. So that you're not even tempted to look at your phone, or you can literally unplug.
Yeah. Kenny charges his phone in the kitchen.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah. He never has the phone in the bedroom. And I always think to myself, if I'm not home, I think, how am I going to get a hold of you? What if I'm in an accident? Don't you care?
Do you know what Ron does, before he goes to sleep? He puts on his cheaters, so he's got his glasses at the end of his nose, and he plays pool on the phone.
Yeah,
and he could take his finger and makes it like a pool stick, and he goes click.
Yeah.
And it makes a noise like a pool ball hitting something.
Kenny plays that sometimes too. Not at night, but if he's waiting or something.
And you can play with other people. And then they take a turn and you take a turn and then da-da-da-da. Yeah. Anyway, not to give you too many details about our little habits. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Turn off notifications. I have to say that would help me tremendously because I can't stand too much coming at me. Yeah. And when it says notification, I do think, oh, well, I better check that. It's like a phone ringing. Yeah. In so many ways. Not all the time. Sometimes I totally ignore them. But
well, that's a good boundary. Go through and figure out what notifications you actually need and those that you don't, and flip the switch.
You probably don't need most of them, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Manage expectations. If you don't plan to check text messages during your workday or won't be checking email regularly on vacation, make sure you let other people know. So just, set yourself up.
Right. Let people know I'm not dead. I'm just ignoring you.
Exactly.
I'll get back to you when I can.
Yeah.
That's it. That's, you know what? I like that thought of managing an expectation, because that way, like if you wanted to be totally unplugged from text messages and voicemails for your vacation, you just let people know. I'm going on vacation. I'll be back on the 10th. Reach me after that. Yeah. Because I'm not checking my email.
Right. You won't be able to enjoy the benefits of disconnecting if you're getting, hassled by your family or
if you're stressed out wondering what they're thinking, because other people are so accustomed to instantaneous, responses. You don't want somebody else to feel like you're ignoring them. So, I'm sure that a lot of our listeners know this, that you can set up an automated email to go out to people. If you're wanting to unplug from your email, you just set this thing up and it says, hey, I'm tuned out until a certain date and I'll be back.
Right.
I don't know how you could do that with this. Can you do that with texting also? Let's say I didn't want to get any texts, right? And you text me. Can I tell my phone, tell Cathrine I'm not accepting texts right now?
I know that you can set it up so that when you're driving, it does that.
You can?
Yeah, because I receive texts from other people sometimes. It'll say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but how do you do that?
I don't know. Oh. But I'm sure there's a way.
All right, somebody figure it out for us and let us know.
Yeah, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Use social media wisely. Many people have had the experience of feeling like their life is less glamorous or exciting than the lives their friends showcase on social media. In fact, some research has suggested a link between social media and feelings of sadness or depression. If I read that right, the way it's written.
Yeah, because social media is making you feel bad about your life because it looks like everybody else has got it together.
Mm-hmm.
Like a big bumper sticker, like that. Remember the bumper stickers that said, "I never got these. My student is an honor student."
Yeah, right.
I had honor students. I just didn't put it on my bumper sticker.
Same.
I didn't have a big enough bumper.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you can change your relationship with social media for the better.
Well, and I think the biggest thing to do is to get your head on straight.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got stuff.
Right.
Every single person that puts their pants on one leg at a time,
Mm-hmm.
We all have stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not that great.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and there's more on that about using social media wisely, more tips and so forth, and we'll leave that, in the link.
Okay.
Be present. So, meaning be present with the people that you're physically with, and put the stuff away. That's setting up boundaries.
That's especially true, I think, when you're like out to eat or something, or you're like or you're out.
Yeah, definitely. Or when you're being social and things like that. There's actually a restaurant, Mr. Benny's.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if they still have this enforced.
I remember that. They would take the phones or
they
not
say,
allow it.
Yeah, right. I know that there's some cute little baskets. You could get them at Michael's or whatever, and they say embroidered on the little cloth part, place your cell phone in here for when you have a social gathering, and everyone's got to put their phone in the basket so they don't use them or not tempted to use them. Yeah.
That seems like too much control.
I could tell by your face
I'm like,
that you
no,
were.
not like that.
I could totally tell.
That sounds like communism. Give us your phone. Put your phone in the basket.
I don't think it's such a bad idea, but and I don't really think of it as a control thing. But anyway,
why don't you try it?
I could do that.
Okay.
Oh, look. Are you challenging me?
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to ever get Cathrine to do something, you just tell her she can't.
Right. So true.
She falls for it every time. All right.
Oh, that's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take time to recharge. Get some quiet time.
Yeah.
Just, so you had mentioned it gives you something to do, and that's true. It does. But also for boundaries and to lessen that habit of going to your device is to do something else that you actually enjoy, maybe whatever it might be, pray, think. Some of the suggestions that I was reading, it's not on this site, it was another one. I'm like, that's kind of corny.
Why would they say? What'd they say?
It was like, sing a song to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, I think I do that.
Sing a song.
Don't worry if it's not
good enough for anyone else to hear. Oh my gosh. We are so old.
I know. I love that song.
Oh.
But yeah.
Okay. So thinking about unplugging and like just letting things be quiet for a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought of is at the pool. So Cathrine and I have just rejoined I guess they call it Aquafit. It's like aerobics in the pool, basically.
Synchronized swimming.
Well, yeah, it is kind of like synchronized swimming, but whatever. It's in the pool and it's, like a group class. You obviously can't have your phone in there.
Yeah. Right.
So it's kind of nice. And I feel like not only is it good for me physically, but I feel like it's good for me mentally. Mm-hmm. I really, truly do feel the stress leaving me as I get into the water. Mm-hmm. And you don't feel it because Cathrine and I have different approaches to getting into the water. I just jump in. And
if you've ever seen Superstar with Molly Shannon, Tracy is like Molly Shannon's character.
Superstar. Whoa! And Catherine is, how would you describe yourself?
The comedian, the guy that's in there, he's like tiptoe, tiptoe. Into the pool. That's me.
Catherine gets into the pool,
testing the waters,
1 little quarter inch at a time.
It's so true.
Yeah, and you it's painful. It's
painful.
Yeah, it's painful to watch.
It's
I'm done and over with in like 2 seconds, and I'm like, wee.
And the worst thing is when everyone's like, just do it. Oh, okay. All my life. All of a sudden, you're going to change me.
I'm gonna just push you
I've
in.
been that way.
I'm just going to push you in.
You think that's going to help?
No.
Right.
Just be mad
And
at
actually,
me.
challenging me on that particular one won't work either.
Okay.
You know.
Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I know what I was saying. I really do feel the mental stress of life leaving me as I'm getting into the pool. And then it's about a 45-minute class. It's not that long. But during that period of time, and I like it because it's just monkey see, monkey do. I don't have to think.
Yeah.
All I have to do is
follow the leader.
Follow the leader and move my little foam weights and move my noodle.
Hi ho. Yeah, it's true.
What you got in that coffee over there?
I know.
She's got something extra in there. All right.
Okay.
What else you got?
So I skipped to another website because I thought, ooh, I like the advice from this too.
Okay.
But it does start with end idle moments, which we just talked about. Just don't give yourself those idle moments of where you can just be in the habit of grabbing your phone, do something else.
Yeah.
So
nature is good too. Like just get outside.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the reason that they're saying this, by the way, too, is your first impulse in an idle moment is to grab your phone.
Yeah, that's so true. Even like at a stoplight. Do you ever see somebody looking at their phone at a stoplight and then the light turns green and they're still scrolling?
Yes. And then everyone's beeping.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
I'm like, quit beeping. I'm going.
Right. There's times... Yeah. I'll check my email in moments like if I'm waiting for waiting for the family to come out. I'll check my email.
Yeah.
And anyway, use tech to help you stay off the tech. So yes. So those apps I was talking about, Facebook has one that you can set some limits for yourself.
Oh, okay.
And it'll alert you when you've gone over the time that you told it
to
not let you go over.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Don't rely on your own willpower. So I'm not sure how they back that up here. Let's see. While putting away your phone or turning off the computer is the simplest way to unplug, doing so is usually easier said than done. So if left to your own devices, if left to our own devices, we'll always be on them.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Well, and I will say this, when we had the boys all living at home and they were struggling some with overdoing it on video games, my husband figured out how to turn off internet usage per device. So he gave me unlimited access, and he would cut them off like at whatever time. After whatever the time was, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, it would die. And I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
Technology.
Yeah. So
you both ways.
You go in, I think, through your router. I think it was he went in through the router, and every device has its own little identification code or something, IP address, something like that. And you go and you can identify which one is which one.
Genius.
And then you just set the time that you want it to shut off, and you set the time that you want it to turn on, and it just happens automatically.
That is so much better and smarter than going and cutting the cord like I did once.
Yes, tell our friends what you did, Catherine.
I was so mad at our son when he was still living under our roof, and I think even he was probably a teenager, and I had set limits on the gaming thing that he was doing, and we didn't know how to do what you just described, set those limits.
To turn it off automatically.
Right. So I got so steaming mad when he blew it. I gave him all these warnings. I told him he was going to have consequences, and there he was, still playing, because it's addicting. And I went down, I just cut the cord with scissors. And my husband said, he's like, you're lucky you didn't get electrocuted.
Yeah, because it was plugged in, he was using it.
Yeah, but whatever cord I cut, wasn't the one that would
Had the
cause
juice through it.
Yeah. But it did. And then I found out later that he knew how to rewire it. Whatever I cut.
And fix it?
Yeah.
Rotten kids.
I know. Okay. Here we go again with unplug before bed. Start small. Start small with where you set your, your
goals.
Your goals.
Yeah.
And give yourself a digital
graceful. Be gracious.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Turn off notification. I already said that. Plan breaks. So just plan ahead of time breaks that you can take from, because like if you have to use your device or your whatever it is you're using, your laptop, set yourself some breaks ahead of time. Oops, I'm pounding on the table.
It's okay.
I bet it can't be heard, but anyway.
Yeah.
We can hear it.
Yes.
All right.
One technology that we haven't really talked about is Netflix.
Yeah.
And,
right.
Netflix, I think that it is totally designed just to keep you glued to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it totally is.
Yeah.
The way that thing spins.
Oh, yeah.
You got 5 seconds.
You got to be fast. And furthermore, because my husband just had sinus surgery, and we were just sitting around for like 3 days as he was recovering. And we were kind of binge watching some stuff on Netflix. Well, my back started to get sore because if you sit that long, things can stiffen up.
Right.
You're like the old Tin Man,
Atrophy.
So it could be a good idea every time you see the little spinny thing on Netflix, do stretch or walk around. Like if you're in the house and you're stuck in because it's snowing outside, or
there's a pandemic.
Yeah, pandemic. That would be a good one. But to be mindful of the physical part, and even like a lot of people now are learning from home, they're doing school from home, and they are also working from home. And you've got to, the shoulders can get stiff because they're too much curved in.
Yeah.
And your butt can get sore and your back can get sore. So maybe be mindful of all of those physical things that you need to sort of straighten out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah.
All right.
So
what else? Is that it for?
That's it for those boundaries and, balanced approach. Yeah.
All right.
So now
we've got a scripture to look up, and it's 1 Corinthians 6. So bear with me because I didn't have it. I didn't have the page open when we started, but it says this. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, and it's verse 12. It says, I have the right to do anything you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything.
That's so fitting, isn't it?
Well, I think that it is, because technology can be for good and it can also be for evil. So just like anything else in our world, we want it to be used for good. We want to push down sin, push down the flesh, push down temptation,
right,
and use it for good.
Well, very good.
All right. Well,
Okay.
we thought we would give our audience a call to action.
Oh, that's right. We did, didn't we?
Yes, we did talk about that before we came on our little podcast here. And the call to action is this: for you all to think about and maybe pray about, but come up with what is an area of technology that you might need to make some change in.
Yeah. Set up some boundaries.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Maybe just like you said, start small. Just think about one. What's one area of technology where you feel like you need a little more balance?
Yeah.
And then start to put in some boundaries yourself. It'll be good.
Okay. I'm gonna take that challenge as well.
Yeah, me too. And I think the one that we challenged each other for is really good, and everybody should do that one, and that is to stay off your phone completely when you're driving.
Yeah.
It really, really can mess you up.
Oh my goodness. Or someone else.
Yeah,
of
so
course.
don't do it. So
Right.
if you can't think of one, then we just gave you one.
Yeah.
A takeaway.
Okay.
All right. Well, our next episode 18, is how and when to know, or how to know when to say no. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've been listening to the Life Happens Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm comedian Tracy DeGraff.
And I'm Catherine.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.